All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whoever's watching this, and hope you're having a good time and hope you're studying. Today, we want to talk about one of the lessons that kind of correlates with being able to pass Apex evaluations in one day. Some of you are wondering, how do I do it? Is it really possible? Answer is yes. I'm going to go through and walk you through a couple of examples as to why that is. And I'll walk you through an example on a 50K Apex account versus a 150K Apex account. Both are passable within a day very easily, and we're going to take a look at why. So the first example we're going to look at is going to be the 150K account. I showed snippets of it during the live on Friday, but I want to come back through and play that back and walk you through why exactly I thought to take these plays and what you might be able to do as you study ICT concepts, as you look for your model. Perhaps this will help you identify some things that I look for that I think you might be able to look for too if it turns out to be your model. But by no means do you have to trade like I do, but this will help you, give you some insight as to why I took this trade and why I knew it was going to pan out. So without further ado, let's head over to the charts. So over here, and let me find my mobile here. So let's actually get some, forgot to turn on this. There we go. Got some lighting now. Okay, so over here, we're looking at day 104, Friday, 2/2/2024. Non-farm payroll Friday, right? So we're looking at our chart a little bit after New York Open. And I'm going to play for you a segment here roughly at the 3 hour and 28 mark. And this is where I start to flash ideas of where I'm entering and where I entered and where I'm looking for terminus. So let's go ahead and play this one out a little bit. So you can kind of see here. So you can see that within this time frame here, we noticed that we took out sell side and we're about to head higher. I entered around this area here, and we're going to look into why and note my sell stops here. I only entered with about 5 contracts total of NASDAQ. Oh, micro NASDAQ would be 50 contracts. And, you don't need to go max contracts in order to make big moves and to pass evaluation accounts. Here it is an example that I used 5 out of the 17 total that you can use with a 150K account. So this golden line denotes my entry. So we will go a little bit deeper into that entry in a moment. So this is the play that we are talking about. Again, you can come back to around 3 minutes, 3 hours and 30 seconds time frame to watch this. So pay close attention here because we're going to dive deeper into the charts as to why exactly we considered that to be a really, really good play. Okay. So let me take a look at one thing here and find my spot. All right, I found it. Okay, great. So I'm finding, so you can kind of see once I, in a moment here, see if I can fast forward to that spot. So you see the remaining 20 and 40 contracts remaining there. Let's see if I can play this in double the speed. So we're going to play this in double the speed. You can kind of see how it raises and reaches up as we were expecting. During that time, you can see all 3 time frames to give you a better idea of what we're reaching for and why. So first, liquidity, you always want to take profit and pay yourself, right? So eventually I moved this down, and you'll see that in a moment as well. Eventually I moved that target down just a little bit. So we'll let this play out here. Notice how I'm not choking up my stop loss, right? So this is going to be a key factor as well, and we'll talk about this stop loss management as well. So it's going to be a few things here that hopefully will help you hold your trade for longer and identify really nice big runs that potentially could go. So now you saw I moved my sell side limit to just below that bearish order block up here. eventually you'll see me you'll see me look for the final bits here, $8,900, and then we go for just a little bit more because I needed to hit the $9,000 to pass this Apex account in one day. So this is the example of the 150K account. So we're going to dive into this one, and then we're going to dive into doing the same thing using max contracts on a 50K account. So let's dive deeper into why that. So you can see I have a 1-second chart pulled up right now. This is what I typically use to go and perform executions. So in order to talk about the trade from that day, earlier, and you can look back on I'm not going to go hash too deeply into this, but knowing that this week we were bullish after achieving this mark here and seeing bullish order flow as well. So I needed confirmation. I needed us to really go above this short-term high, this short-term high. I needed to see really big movement here. I missed this first movement here where we moved above this short-term high. And so I considered this to be a really nice, true market structure shift here, right? What did I see? I saw further continuation. I waited to get movement down into this volume imbalance down here, entered all my 50 contracts here, and then let the price itself play out. So keep in mind, we have this enormous drop, right? Back at non-farm payroll, 8:30 a.m. So I am looking for price to come back to take out this liquidity here and then some. So with that premise in mind, and you can see this is an extension of the chart here. You see me take profit at key levels, right? Took some profit here, took some profit here, and I'm only raising my stop loss once we come back and get some really big displacement above key levels here. So I'm moving my stop loss to 2 or 3 short-term lows before that. On the second chart, on the 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, it doesn't really matter. So I keep moving my stop up just to not choke it out completely. But once we do see displacement above, then we are able to slowly move our stop loss up based on some of the concepts that ICT has taught himself to manage stop loss management. And of course, these were the executions that you saw just on the screen lately. You can kind of see me take profit at key levels here, which we have outlined during the day. And of course, getting that final $9,000. So that is one account that we knew from the beginning, once we took this key level, which we had mentioned during the daytime too, like in the morning, we had mentioned, hey, if it trades down to this daily, this whole segment down here is a daily bullish breaker. So we noticed, yes, we took the short scalp down, and we noticed that, hey, we were really close to this. Let's look to see if there is. I think I was looking on a higher time frame at the time, so I missed it. But like, I don't know if I have it here or not, but yeah. So I was looking at like a slightly higher time frame. I missed it. I think I was also looking at a 5-second time frame, and I missed it as well. So here you can kind of see my entries on the 5-second chart. So you see price head up, impulse, broke above a short-term high. We have market structure shift here, and even this is one market structure shift as well on a lower time frame. But I missed that, so I look up, look for a return to bullish order block, take that in, and there's my entry, exit, exit, exit. So using micro time frames as part of my model, you don't look at it forever. You wait for price to reach a key level, and then you go down to that time frame, try to find similar structures that ICT tells you. And this is a 2022 model, like just textbook right there, right? You also have bullish breakers in here as well, so on the lower time frames at that. So this is an example of passing that 150K account in one day. It's definitely possible to do. Do I recommend you do that? Is it possible every single day? No, but you can get sizable chunks with only 5 contracts, right? On NASDAQ even. You can get huge amounts. And if you can do this with 5 contracts or 50 contracts total on a 150K account, could you do this and just go a third of the way and maybe get 30 handles, 40 handles on a lower account? Yeah, absolutely. So that's one example of our 150K. You can go back to Friday, go back and review these. You know, you'll be able to review the chat as well and see what we're pointing out. I'm pointing out everything in the chat ahead of time. So take a look back, study today, study what kind of things I'm pointing out throughout the day. There was a lot of important stuff I pointed out before 6:30 in the morning. So go back and study that. So the next one that we have here, we ended up going back. Let me get just to the right point here. So here, we saw that price came up to a key level, took out relative equal highs here, and created a sell side imbalance, trading down to a bullish order block down here. So what we end up seeing is another movement higher eventually. We see a scalp up into this sell side imbalance, and this time is a 50K account. So new 50K account, you see me enter half. I see it head up. It seems that I enter another 50 there. So now I have a purchase price of 17,585. You see that here, right? And then I take my price target so that I can hit 15 handles or more. This allows me to reach that $3,000 profit target for 50K accounts, which is, you know, how do you pass the 50K accounts in a day? That's how you do it. So why was this something that I was looking for? Well, you need to think back to your higher time frame bias, right? If you're trading in the direction of your higher time frame bias, then you're able to feel confident looking for returns to discount in order to take it long. What do I mean by return to discount? Well, it could be at discount areas of swings. It could be swing lows to swing highs, swing lows to swing highs, things of that nature, short-term lows being taken and then heading higher from that. So let's take a look at a little closer at that one itself. So over here, now we're on a 5-second chart here. So I'm seeing, remember, this is the same structure that you just saw back here. This drop and then movement higher. This drop and that movement higher. It's the same. So we're going to take a look at that a little bit deeper. So I knew that sell side got taken out here, right? So this is a relative equal lows that got taken out, and then we saw institutional order flow head higher right this moment. If I was paying attention at that time, which I think I was in a meeting, so I couldn't take this trade, but then I got out and I could take a quick trade here. This is a scalp because I don't know if it's going to go any higher than this. It's difficult for me to tell, right? But I do think that on the grand scheme of things, it was raising us up to eventually head higher even than that. So bullish bias, I saw price switch directions here, came down, head higher, fair value gap formed here, never returned to it, created another one up here, entered on that fair value gap, and then headed higher. 15 handles is all I needed because this was 100 contracts of micro, and so 10 NASDAQ contracts basically. Why did I enter here? Well, I saw that sell side had been taken here, so I was expecting price to at least come up to this area up here, right? So on the 1-second chart, let's take a look at that a little bit closer. And I need to find where's my, I think this was here. So on the 1-second chart, I could see that there's a consolidation up in this area. So I was thinking I need to get out before that area. Otherwise I run the risk of the price of the trade running against me. And we do see that it ends up heading up to above that consolidation area, but we only needed 15 handles to pass and get to our $3,000 mark. So we missed this, we have this, smart money reversal here, and we have the rest of the market maker buy model here that we see beautifully executed, by the way. So we have a market maker reversal here. First stage of accumulation, we started to leg into our longs here. Let's look a little bit deeper into this because this is the same across any time frame. You'll find these types of movements, right? So consolidation, I saw price was consolidating here, was not creating lower lows. It had reached this volume imbalance and quickly run away from it. So on a down close candle, I entered my first contracts. It ripped higher. When it came back down into this fair value gap, you'll see my entry limit order entry here. Price trades to it, very little drawdown before spiking back up, and I take profit on this first movement higher, and then at around the same level, I get my next levels filled. So you can kind of see how like using these micro time frames is really beneficial, or can be beneficial, but you have to know where structure is occurring on the higher time frames. As you can see on a 15-second, it would have been quite difficult for you to play this because price would have already just kept on going and rising. So it would have been quite difficult for you to tell on a 15-second, let alone us taking this on a, oh, it looks like market opened already. Nice. I'm actually gonna mark this here so we know where the new week opening gap is. Price has already filled in that new week opening gap and is on its way higher, actually. So 40 handles so far. Anyways, let's take a look back at that on the 1 minute chart. So this is what you would have seen on a 1 minute chart, right? How would you have known to take this midway? You couldn't. So in order to trade like I do, I would recommend that you are taking a look across all time frames. If you are using Apex Trader Funding, so you all know that I trade on Apex Trader Funding. If you don't, then I guess you can also very much so see what I'm talking about by going to my YouTube channel and clicking on this link there. So this is my Apex link. This is the broker and prop firm that I use, Apex Trader Funding. And you'll get the discount coupon code right here. That's my code. If you want to purchase these things, if you are a new trader, I do not recommend. I recommend you really really backtest first on something like TradingView before you hop into the prop firm space. But so that's a couple of things that I wanted to review in terms of plays that show you what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, fair value gaps that form on any time frame that you can then look for as entries. And as long as your draw on liquidity is true, as long as your bias is correct, as long as you spent enough time knowing that on the weekly chart, we were expecting this weekly candle to expand higher after taking out sell side and taking out this buy side imbalance, consequent encroachment here. As long as you knew that that was your plan and that bias is what you were looking for, you can trade that direction as well. And if you're trading in that direction, generally, you will find larger moves higher. So watch this lesson with the earlier lesson on how to pass Apex funded, how to get Apex funded accounts. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, you go into playlists and you go into this view, what you need to know before trading this firm and how to pass evaluation accounts. This lesson is really good. It gives you the bare bones about what you need to do and how you need to pass these, what you need to know in order to pass these evaluation accounts. And then this video, which I'll put in this same one, will touch upon a couple of examples of passing a 50K account and passing a 150K account. So again, I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're new. Trade with lower leverage so that you'll survive and then trade consistently. But once you've gotten a chance to really define your model, then you can come trade like this, trade with 5 contracts, trade with 10 contracts, and pass these accounts quite quickly. So hopefully this was helpful. And hopefully this was, enlightening for you. If you missed something, go back and rewatch and pause. It'll take a little bit of time there. You need to have a bare bones baseline of Inner Circle Trader concepts. So you need to have at least gone through the 2022 model and the 2016, 2017 mentorship in order to understand what I'm looking for over here. And then at that point, it's just a matter of backtesting. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this is helpful for you to see a couple of examples of it happening, just so that you know it's happening and it's possible to do. So go back and rewatch this, pause where you need to, take notes, and if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I appreciate your likes, and if you're subscribing, thank you very much. But just want to give an example for everyone who's been asking. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of the evening or morning or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And yep, we'll talk soon. Take care.